You get an invitation, a party, a wedding, a single hangout with friends. It sits on your counter, but instead of excitement, you feel a knot of dread tightening in your stomach. Your brain starts running a mile a minute, imagining all the ways you could embarrass yourself. What if you say something stupid? What if they see your hands shaking? That is not just shyness, it's a daily battle with social anxiety. But what if there was a single proven method to take your life back? By the end of this video, you will know how to solve it using a simple trick. What is social anxiety? You know that feeling when you're about to make a phone call to a stranger, maybe to order food or schedule an appointment, and you rehearse the entire conversation in your head 3 times before dialing. Or when you send a text and then immediately start overanalyzing every word you chose. Or sitting in class knowing the answer but staying dead silent because the idea of everyone looking at you feels unbearable. Even eating alone in a public place or having to ask a waiter to fix your order. Things that seem so small can feel like climbing a mountain. That is social anxiety. It's not shyness, it's your brain treating everyday moments like emergencies. Social anxiety isn't just being an introvert or a little shy. It's an anxiety disorder characterized by an intense and persistent fear of being judged or rejected in social settings. It's like having a broken record of fear stuck on repeat in your head. And it's physical too. We're talking about a pounding heart, sweaty palms, blushing, and that awful feeling like you cannot breathe in a crowded room. It's the illness of what ifs and missed opportunities. It means turning down job interviews, letting friendships fade because a text feels safer than meeting up, and exhaustively replaying every conversation to pinpoint where you messed up. You might even rehearse a simple phone call 10 times before dialing, which is great practice if you're auditioning for a play but not so great for your phone bill or your sanity. The most isolating part is feeling like you're the only one, but you're not. Studies show that around 7.1% of US adults, that's about 50 billion people, experience this in any given year. Chapter 2, a global issue. Social anxiety disorder is one of the most common anxiety disorders, with some estimates for lifetime prevalence as high as 12%. It's a global issue, though rates can vary. It often starts in early life, with the median age of onset being just 13 years old. This means many people are navigating the already difficult teenage years while also battling intense social fears, which can lead to poor school performance and social isolation. Worryingly, many people wait a long time before getting help. One survey found that 36% of people with the disorder experienced symptoms for 10 or more years before seeking treatment. Chapter 3, a method to solve it. Desperate for an answer, many discover a method that can become a lifeline: exposure therapy. This isn't some fringe idea, it's a core component of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which many experts consider the gold standard treatment for anxiety disorders. The concept is simple, but in practice it's terrifying. To break the cycle of fear, you have to gently and gradually face the very things you are trying to avoid. See, every time you dodge a social situation, your brain learns that avoidance equals safety, which only makes the fear grow stronger. Exposure therapy is about slowly teaching your brain that the social situation doesn't have to end in a catastrophe. You can't get over it overnight. You take baby steps until you achieve it. Chapter 4, Action Plan: Building your fear ladder. So, how do you do it? With a tool called a fear ladder. You list your social fears from the least scary thing to the absolute most terrifying. A bottom rank might be making eye contact with a cashier. So you go to the store, heard hammering, and when the cashier tells you the total, you force yourself to look them in the eye and say, "Thank you." And guess what? Nothing bad happened. They just smiled back. That tiny win gives you the fuel to try the next rank, asking a stranger for the time. Then you might work up to making a phone call to order a pizza instead of hiding behind the app. A moment of true heroism in the digital age. Each step is a small act of rebellion against your anxiety. Some days are hard. These are times your voice might crack or you turn beet red. But the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to prove to your brain that you can feel anxious and still survive. Slowly, you can climb that ladder from small get togethers to eventually giving a short toast at a friend's birthday. Chapter 5, Fear and Co occurring struggles. From a neuroscience perspective, social anxiety is linked to hyperactivity in the brain's fear center, the amygdala. This part of the brain acts like an overactive alarm system, triggering a fight or flight response in social situations that it incorrectly perceives as threatening. fMRI studies show that in people with social anxiety, the amygdala shows a heightened response even to neutral or ambiguous social cues. Furthermore, social anxiety rarely travels alone. It has a high rate of comorbidity with other conditions. Major depressive disorder is incredibly common, with some studies showing that nearly half of people with a lifetime history of major depression also had an anxiety disorder. Understanding the scale of social anxiety and the science behind it reveals two key things. One, it's a legitimate widespread health condition, and two, its impact is significant. The fear is rooted in brain function, and its consequences can ripple out, affecting mental and physical health, relationships, and professional achievement. However, recognition is the first step toward management. Effective, evidence based treatments exist that can help retrain the brain's response to fear. Many people struggle with these symptoms without knowing they are part of a recognized and treatable condition. If these challenges feel familiar, consider looking into resources from mental health organizations or speaking with a healthcare professional to learn about effective treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy.